In this video, I'll brief you about Odoo installation and we'll install Odoo on Docker containers. Uh, let's go to official Odoo installation page for briefing about Odoo installation. Here, if you see, they have written steps that how you can install Odoo. For example, if you want to install Odoo on Linux, then first they ask you to install Postgres. Actually, you can skip this one if you already have a DB running, but if not, then you can do that. Then they'll downloading Odoo key and then installing Odoo. Then they will tell you what all packages or dependencies you should have. You have to install them too. Then there are a couple of things. It's step by step. You have to run these. Finally, you run Odoo here using these options. You can use Python virtual environment too. So this is all about installation. But they have written how we can use Docker as well. So if you go come down there, so let's go to Docker image page. If you remember, I talked about DockerFile, so they have provided us DockerFile and other supporting file too. Uh, this is our Docker file. If you see, they've used Debian image, then they run couple of commands to install dependent packages and library. They are installing Postgres client, installing Node, some Python package, and then this is Odoo. They are installing. They're first downloading this key and release this particular Odoo release in your image. Then, if you see this copy command, it's actually copying this file from host machine uh, to this location of containers. While we run Docker build to create image, we should have this file in same directory. Same for Odoo conf file. Then they're changing owner. So if you go to parent directory, you'll see there are two other files as well. One is entry point and another is Odoo conf. In entry point, they are actually expecting these DB parameters while running, and then running this Odoo command with arguments. And this is Odoo conf file. You'll see all configuration. If you see, this is our add-on path, this MNT and extra add-ons. So in container, coming back to Docker file. So after copying file, we are actually making this directory, this extra add-on which we are going to use, and then exposing ports and using Odoo conf file by setting environment variable and then creating user. So here we are specifying entry point command. So when we run container using this image, then this command will get triggered. In our case, it's running our Odoo server. So we are done with briefing about Odoo installation. Now I'm going to set up Odoo on Docker containers. So this is my Docker file. This is my entry point file, Odoo conf file. So I've actually just cloned this file from Odoo. So if you see, they have provided you file for 12, 11, and 10. This is their repository. You can clone these files from there. So it's the same file. I've just changed the maintainer name there, and that's all. First thing we are going to do is we'll first create a container for Postgres, and then we'll create a container for Odoo, and we'll run it. So I'll take reference from Odoo page here. So this one actually. So if you see, they have written that how can you do that. So first command which they have run is docker run for this. Okay, so if I so first I'll tell you what this command is. So it I told you that docker run command is to create container from image. So we are providing here we are providing, these are environment variables which we are providing: Postgres user, Postgres password, Postgres DB, and then we are providing name for this container which is DB, and here we are providing which image we have to use. So this image is Postgres and version is 10. Okay, so if I do docker run, so you see it has created one Docker container. So our Postgres server is running now, and user is Odoo, the password is Odoo, and database is Postgres. Next, we'll create Odoo image from this Docker file. So for creating image from Dockerfile, we use docker build command, and using this uh, -t option, we provide name uh, to this image. Let's say Odoo C for Odoo custom, and then I'll provide dot. Dot means this present directory. This is the location where it will look for Docker file. So if I do enter, so you see that things are running. They have fetched Debian, then they've set environment, it's installing, and this installing the packages and dependency. So going fast. So build part is done. So now if I do docker images, then I can see my image Odoo C. Now I'm going to run it. So if I want to run it, then I'll use docker run command, then I'll use the image name, and before that there is one more thing I need to add, which is link uh, dbs. Uh, so if you remember that we have just run a container with name db for Postgres, so we are just providing a link between them. So although containers are isolated, they don't know about each other, but this way we can actually link those containers, and so this container will have the information of other db container. And one more thing I'll add is uh, this p option. P option is actually if you want to map your host machine with the container. So if you see, we have exposed 8069 in the container. So what it will do, it will map the uh, host machine port with container port, which is 8069. We have to provide a name. Let's provide a name for to this container. Now I'll just run it. So you have to remove, there is already a Odoo container, so I'll go and check previous. Oh, this one is already running, so I'll just stop it. And check if it's there. Yeah. And then I'll remove it, so it won't be there now. So I'll run this run command, so it will. Okay, so it has started Odoo on this container, so I'll go to browser now. So yeah, so I'll use 8069. Yeah, it's up, it's working now. Then whatever configuration you want to make, you can make it here, but now I'll come back there. So let's just, if you see now, I'll just stop that container. Now I'll check if it is running. No, but it isn't. Yeah, just stop straight. So now I'll do one thing. I will start the image and the container name. The name is Odoo. Okay, so it has started Odoo at no table. So I'll stop it and I'll start again. Start with yes. So it is running now. There is one more thing I need to say before this, so I forgot that. So when you use these file in your local system, just make sure that this entry point sh file is in executable mode. So if I do, so you see that it is in executable mode. So here you can see entry point SSH file and the mode. So only then it is going to be executable in the container. So and other thing, if you remember that we made a directory in container for add-ons. So this time, we are running this container. So we are not going to again and again uh, go inside and we'll update add-on directory with the new add-ons. So and maybe I have to run too many containers on same machine and I'll do port mapping, like let's say I'll assign 9000 to 9010 ports from host machine to the containers, to 10 different containers. So in that case, just think about that chaos that every container will have their extra add-on directory. So what I want all of them to do is to use a same location, a shared location. But how is it possible? So there is a when we do Docker run, so there is a option -v. So what it does, if it just like -p was for port mapping, so -v is volume mapping. So what I'll do, I'll just map my this ERP add-ons directory with the directory MNT extra add-ons in container. So I'll go so for a reference, I have added some add-ons in this folder. It's a theme actually. Then we'll see if it comes, if it reflects. So I'm going to map this with uh, this directory. And I'll map the port again, 806928069. Then I will name Odoo and I'm going to specify the images here. So I think I'm pretty much done. So it will throw me an error because it's already now if I run this command again, yeah, it's working. So I'll go and I'll refresh it. Oh, some error came. DB to address, no service, no. Oh, we forgot DB. Again, I have to remove it. it's working now. So I put the admin, upload some data. Let's check it. Yeah, so you can see the database is reflected here. So yeah, we are here now. So now I'll first go to settings and take the mode. I'll update the list. Okay, now if I check my okay, okay, so these changes are detecting or installed. Yeah, it's installed like that. Okay, so then got changed and got applied. So yeah, uh, so this way you can actually share the same directory with your all containers. Now, if I want to start a new Odoo container, so I'll use the same volume and I'll do volume mapping from there. So yeah, it's very easy to set up, and then you can just play around it and do whatever you want to do. So I'm done with this part as well. Set up Odoo on Docker container. So actually, I'm done with this course. So if you have any doubts or any queries, you can write me on ask.productina@gmail.com. Okay, thank you.